From Disch-Falk Field in Austin, near the campus of the University of Texas, the University Interscholastic League, in conjunction with Jeff Watts Productions, brings you to the 2000 UIL State Tournament of Texas. This afternoon, finally, 4 days in the waiting, the Class 3A State Championship game between the China Spring Cougars and the Youkum Bulldogs. 4 days ago, last Thursday, June 8th, these two teams won their semifinal matchups. Youkum, a 6-2 winner over Robinson. China Spring, a 2-1 winner over Forney. They played this afternoon after rain postponements on Saturday and Sunday. They play this Monday, June 12th at 1 o'clock, or 11 o'clock rather, local time. Youkum will be the home team. They're on the third base side. The visitors, or China Spring rather, the home team on the third base side. Youkum, the visitors, on the first base side. Youkum will come up to bat first and bring up the following lineup. Leading off, T.J. Creeders. Batting second, Kyle Barish. Batting third, Jared Nato. Fourth is Zach Kennedy. Fifth, Ryan Wegner. Batting sixth, Jeremy Chaka, the DH. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Randy Boone. Batting eighth, the first baseman, Jamie Bazan. And batting ninth, the left fielder, Clay Harrell. Taking a look at the outfield, the defensive lineup of China Spring as we near the top of the first inning. The infield from first to third, Josh Lessman, Jeremy Toledo, Sean Bell, and Jared Clements. The outfield from left to right, Brock Shows, Brandon Garrett, and Jared Talbert. And the battery for the Cougars on this championship game, Ricky Barlow, the starting pitcher. He'll be throwing to his battery mate, Trent Goree. We're ready to get underway. 4 days in the making, the Class 3A State Championship game. T.J. Creeders to face Ricky Barlow. A first pitch strike for Barlow. And Barlow quickly ahead of Creeders. As we said, the Bulldogs 2-1 winners over Forney. China Springs winning in the bottom of the seventh inning. Or Youkum rather the 6-2 winner. The third offering from Barlow is low for a ball, bringing the count at 2-2. The 6-2 win over the Robinson Rockets. Creeders an 0-for-2 performance in that game. A game played right here at Disch-Falk Field. Swing and a miss, strike three. Barlow, a strikeout to begin the game. That brings up Kyle Barish, the third baseman of Youkum. Another 0-for-3 performance in the semifinal. Knocks one to first base. Josh Lessman will take it himself. This game is scheduled to be played Saturday, the fourth game of the 5 championship games. Delays throughout the first 3 championship games, the 1A, 2A, and 4A finals. Pushed back to 3A final. They determined to play that game on Sunday. It would be the first time in baseball tournament history to play a Sunday championship game. But before the action could even start, UIL officials checking with the National Weather Service and determining that there would be rain throughout the afternoon, and thus pushed back the championship game yet another day. Of course, luck would have it, no precipitation here in Austin on Sunday. Jared Nato, the Youkum pitcher, now at the plate. And Ricky Barlow once again quickly ahead of his batter, 0-2. Strike three swing, a ball gets away from Trent Goree. The throw to first is in time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Youkum Bulldogs. We're through a half an inning and scoreless in the 3A title game. Well, we are looking to begin the bottom of the first inning as China Springs will come to the plate, and the precipitation is coming down once again. And home plate umpire Matt Stelgis has called the teams off the field. This has been a nightmare of a state tournament. And Jared Nutto, the Youkum pitcher, slamming his glove down in the dugout. Incredible anticipation for these games. What every team works for, a state championship game. They get here, and the forecast for today was partly sunny and just a very slight chance of showers. But it is coming down. This delay will not affect any of you watching. We'll the next time you see us back will either be a few hours from now from this delay, or the next day, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll just see what happens. But there is a rain delay, a half inning of the books, and the 3A state championship game between China Spring and Youkum. Already with Toledo 0 for 2 in the semifinal win, and bats with Trent Gorey at first. Hit by the first pitch thrown by Jared Nutto. Second offering from Nutto is high and gets behind Toledo at 2-0 and has yet to find the strike zone. Now he does and runs the count to 2-1. Count runs even now at 2-2 with Jared Clements on deck. Toledo, the senior, takes ball 4. First 2 runners aboard for China Spring. Bringing up the number 3 hitter, Jared Clements. Clements also a senior, batting .519 entering the game. And Jace Wood is going to give a visit to his pitcher, Jared Nutto. Of course, these 2 3A schools, the two that were really kind of left hanging in the balance of the decisions of whether they may or may not play, and the 5A schools had a pretty good idea that they could go home, and if things were cleared up, that they could have time to get over here to Austin. But both teams staying here in Austin, the Austin area last night at the hotels, and so they could wake up and be fresh for this morning's game. And this is the state tournament know and love. It's wet, and the sun's come out and heated things up to 81 degrees. It'll feel probably be over 100 degrees as Matt Stelgis, the home plate umpire, calls timeout before that pitch. If the sun does break out, it'll steam up that wet artificial surface and steam things up to more than 100 degrees on the field. Second offering to Clements is high for ball 2. high and inside, and Jared Nato was in danger of losing yet another batter. Josh Lessman pitched the win in the semifinal. He's on first base now. There's a strike. Lessman now the first baseman in the semifinal win over 4, and he pitched a complete game, 7 innings, giving up only 1 run off 6 hits and struck out 13 batters. Of course, the advantage of this rain delay, if there is one, is that now that he's had 4 days rest. There's a hammered ball into left field. It's hit very deep. Clay Harrell gives chase, and it's gone. A 3-run home run for Jared Clemens. That ball absolutely hammered. A 3-1 pitch from Jared Nato, who is pretty rattled right now on the mound. 3 batters in, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Cougars. Ricky Barlow now, the cleanup hitter. Barlow, a senior, batted .300 entering the state tournament. Went 1 for 2 in the semifinal win with a run scored. Big swing and a miss at a changeup from Nato. Count runs even to Ricky Barlow from Jared Nato. The 2-2 pitch. Hammered right back at Nato. Runs over. Jamie Bazan covering first, and there's the first out of the inning. And maybe now Nato can find a groove as first 2 batters get on base by a hit by pitch, then a walk. And Jared Clemens with a towering home run just shy of the light standard in left field. Brandon Garrett now the batter. A junior who batted .295 entering the tournament. An 0 for 3 outing in the semifinal win. Hammered over the shortstop Ryan Wagner's head. It's in for a base hit. He's turning the corner big and almost could have had 2 as Clay Harrell and TJ Creeders in left and center field respectively having a little problem reading the hop on that, but hold Garrett to a single. So now the 6th batter of the inning stepping to the plate for China Spring as Josh Lessman comes up. Lessman, as we say, playing first base in this game. He pitched the semifinal win Thursday. Count runs even at 1-1. Boy, Nato with a different stretch, as he has that wide open stretch stance. Clayton Stock doing a good job of blocking that ball and keeping Brandon Garrett in check at first base. China Spring won their district championship for the 4th consecutive year. Their 7th appearance in the state tournament. Big swing and a miss by Lessman, and Garrett's off to second, and he is nailed. Clayton Stock down to Randy Boone at second, and there's 2 away. That clears the table for Nato. The 2-2 pitch just misses inside and brings the count full. There's a ball hammered into the gap in left center field. Harrell giving chase. It is over his head, and it bounces the wall. Lessman will have a stand-up double on a towering fly ball to left that just did miss, clearing the fence by probably 10 feet or less. So Lessman hammers the full count pitch to the left field wall, and that brings up Jared Talbert, the number 7 hitter of the lineup. Talbert, one of the many seniors on this senior-loaded team, batted .250 entering the tournament. 1 for 2 in the semifinal. As we said, the 7th appearance by China Spring in the state tournament. Another great stop by Stock behind the plate. They won the state championship in 1987 and in '89. Made the state tournament 3 consecutive years, 91, 92, and 93. Got beat in the semifinals in 91, made it to the championship game in 92, but got beat, and finally won what was their 3rd state championship for the school in 93. Youkum, their first state tournament appearance. The 2-1 pitch misses outside to Talbert. The second walk of the inning for Jared Nato. And here comes Jace Wood. And as Oscar Guerrero was announced as the 8th batter of this inning, it looks like Josh Lessman, as we said, the winner of the semifinal game, might get an opportunity to pitch, but looks like everything will stay the same. Or will it? Randy Boone will come in from second base, and we have a new pitcher for the Youkum Bulldogs in the 3A title game. Randy Boone is a true freshman who went 5-0 in the regular season, and the freshman will now pitch in a state championship game as he faces Oscar Guerrero of China Spring, his first batter. As Nato lasts 2/3 of an inning. Guerrero pops up to the right side. Jamie Bazan giving chase, but it's going to reach the foul ground. There you see what is turning out to be a nice afternoon sky-wise. Partly cloudy skies. It has heated up to 82 degrees since these teams just first started. It's about 78 degrees, so it's heating up quickly. Big curveball from Boone. So as we say, Josh Lessman, perhaps the staff ace of China Springs, still available there on first base as a closing, at least available as a closer. 2 balls and no strikes, or 2 balls and 2 strikes, rather, to Oscar Guerrero. Called strike 3, and Randy Boone gets the Bulldogs out of the inning. But not before the Cougars bring 3 across on a 3-run shot from Jared Clements. We're through 1 complete in the 3A state championship game. To the top of the second we go. Youkum looking for some offense after finding themselves in the 3-0 hole after 1. And Youkum will begin the second inning the same way that China Spring began their first. On a first pitch hit batsman. There we go. Zach Kennedy, the recipient of that hit by pitch, and that brings up Ryan Wagner. Wagner shows bunt and tips it away. Wagner, a junior, hitting .356, entering the tournament. Went 1 for 3 with an RBI in the semifinal win over the Robinson Rockets. Youkum put a 5 spot on the board in the first inning. We're able to cruise from there. This young man right here, Ryan Wagner, got the win on the mound. Bunt is laid down. Throw to first in time, but there'll be no play at first. And actually, that ball must have hit the plate as home plate umpire Matt Stell just calls out a strike. Kennedy returns to first, and there is yeah, he is out at second. Pardon me there. Out does go at second. Wagner advances to first on the fielder's choice. That brings up Jeremy Chaka. Chaka, the junior, batting .272, entering the tournament. Went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored in the semifinal game. Big RBI double from Chaka. Chaka be followed by Randy Boone, who stands on deck should Chaka keep things alive. Ricky Barlow looks in at Jeremy Chaka. Check of first, and Wagner's back in time. The 2-1 pitch. This is outside, 3-1. Well, only about a 15 to 20 minute rain delay, just a slight shower. And as we say, the field crew doing a good job of really covering up the 5 dirt spots at the on this field. The 3 base pads, home plate, and the pitcher's mound. But in fact, getting it on so quick, or at least before heavy rains came, that no additional work was needed to work the dirt, condition it. But it is sticky and muddy down there from all the dirt drying that's been put on the last few days. So it is when it gets wet like that, it is very gummy. And Barlow loses Chaka, so 2 runners aboard with 1 out for Randy Boone. Boone, a freshman, who just entered the game as the pitcher from second base. Batted .341, entering the tournament. And went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored in the semifinal win. Swings at the first offering for Barlow and misses. In the championship games played Saturday, the 1A, 2A, and 4A championships, the sliding became difficult for the players as they would soon learn. Those who tried to take their normal slide a good couple of strides ahead of the bag found themselves breaking very short of the bag, and it cost a couple of runners a base or a run. They would head down the slide and stick right in the dirt and not get that true slide. Hopefully these players are aware of that. A ball and a strike to Boone. Slices one on the plate, brings the count to 1-2. A correction, it was actually Youkum who has won their district championship for the 4th consecutive year. But their first appearance at the state tournament. Champions of District 26 3A. Winning best 2 out of 3 series in their first 3 matchups, beating Hondo, Sealy, and Sinton in best 2 out of 3 meetings. And then in the region final, a 1-game playoff with Wimberley. The Bulldogs 5-1 winners to advance here to Austin. Boy, did China Spring have quite a district to work out of that they would have a rematch with. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Randy Boone goes down on strikes. There's 2 away. Jamie Bazan, the number 8 hitter of the lineup, now to the plate. Jared Clements, the third baseman, now will visit with Barlow. Only the story on China Spring out of their district. Their very successful season, the champions of District 8 3A. They went on to meet their district runner-up, Waco Connolly, in the region final. Hammered up the middle and through the infield for a base hit. It's going to score a run as Wagner is being waved home. The throw is cut off. And the Bulldogs are on the board. RBI single for Jamie Bazan as Chaka advances to third base. There's 2 away, and the Bulldogs are still alive as Clay Harrell, the left fielder, and number 9 hole hitter steps to the plate. The senior Clay Harrell swings at the second pitch. Backhand is missed by Lessman, but recovered by Toledo, who throws to Ricky Barlow covering at first. Great defensive effort by China Spring to get out of that inning without allowing another run to score. Great defensive job by Toledo and Barlow. We are through 1.5 of the 3A championship game. It's a 3-1 lead for China Spring. To the bottom of the second we go, and the only batter of the China Spring lineup we did not see now to the plate is Sean Bell, the number 9 hole hitter, at the plate. Bell, a sophomore, batted .211 entering the tournament. From that number 9 spot in the semifinal game, a 2-for-3 performance at the plate with a run scored. Randy Boone, the freshman, on the mound for Youkum, did a good job of getting out of the inning. And inning number 1 with inherited 2 runners and 2 outs, and was able to strike out Oscar Guerrero to get out of that jam. count runs even at 2-2. Popped up high in the infield, and now Jared Nato, the former pitcher, has it, and there's one away. Nato now in the infield alongside Jamie Bazan at first. Trent Gorey now back to the top of the lineup. Gorey in the first inning took the first pitch he saw from Nato and was hit by it. Gorey, the hero of the semifinal game, had the game-winning RBI in the bottom of the 7th inning. Boy, Nato's pitching record, 2/3 of an inning. 3 runs all earned off of 3 hits. 2 walks, no strikeouts, and a hit batsman. And Boone quickly gets ahead of Gorey at 1-2. Changeup is slapped to the left side. Ryan Wagner at short has it over to first in time to Jamie Bazan. Infielders learning the bounces of this turf fairly well here early on, as we have seen a good share of errors in this state tournament on this field, as many of these players are playing on an artificial surface for the first time, but the majority of errors we have seen have been throwing errors. In the 1A state championship game, both teams combined for 13 errors in an ugly game, as Jeremy Toledo now up to the plate slaps away strike 1. Cross Plains meeting Evadale in the 1A state championship game. 13 errors committed by both teams combined, and the majority of those just throwing errors. Evadale, incidentally, winning that 1A state championship game 11-10 over Cross Plains. Weimer won the 2A state championship by defeating Colmonale. And Corpus Christi Calallen, after losing in a state championship game each of the last 2 years, finally avenges themselves and beats out Port Neches Groves to win the 4A state championship. Toledo lines a shot to right field, but Zach Kennedy had him played perfect. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Randy Boone. And it's a 3-1 lead after 2 complete in the 3A final. Well, Youkum not only brings a sizable following as far as the student body and parents and fans from the surrounding area, good bit of their cheerleaders, and even the Bulldog mascot making the trip and sitting atop the Youkum bench, taking their very wet spots there, as rain has dusted pretty much everything around here. They're Bulldogs now in the top of the 3rd inning. TJ Creeders, the leadoff batter. They're the number 1 batter of the lineup, leading things off. Struck out swinging to begin the game. TJ Creeders now hitting .349 after the strikeout in the first inning. 3-1 pitch from Barlow. Hits the inside corner, says Matt Stelgis, the home plate umpire. Brings the count full at 3-2. Other umpires working this, a full crew on the state championship game. Dale Miller's at first base, Randy Breville at second, and Paul Burnett at third. Craters steps out of the batter's box for a moment to adjust, I'm sure, a lot of the perspiration now following. Big swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4 for Barlow. And the second for Craters. Now Kyle Barish grounded out to Lessman at first base. Hammer to the right side. Jeremy Toledo at second has it. Over to Lessman at first, and there's 2 away. If we can tilt the camera up, we'll take a look at center field and see that the wind has shifted really from home to center. Most of the activity at Disch-Falk Field comes in from the south and southeast, as is all the storm systems that have affected play this weekend. Jared Nato at the plate now and takes a look at ball 1. But that right field section, that right field foul pole, everything pretty much comes from there. And really now we see the wind shifting from right to left. And the 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. There you see the right field foul pole. 325 down the line to the right field. That's the shorter porch. Is down the left field line. It's 340 because, as we say, most of the time that wind, as well as other cloud activity, comes in from right. That ball just misses and brings the count to 2-1. And some lucky, some thoughtful sponsor has passed out some fans to the fans. We see those waving all around. As you want to see some humidity and some heat, you come to the state baseball tournament. This is a pretty annual event, having the moisture on the ground and then the sun heating it all up. 3 balls and a strike to Jared Nato. Takes ball 4. The second walk issued by Barlow as the number 4 batter of the lineup, Zach Kennedy, up to the plate. Of course, that right to left field wind, a big aid to the right-hand hitters, as we saw in the first inning, as Jared Clements hammered a ball over the left field wall, just to the left of the power alley, the 375 sign in the left center field power alley, is Trent Gorey, the catcher, visits with Barlow. It's 375 to both power alleys in left and right center fields. 400 to dead center, and then really just to the left and right of dead center, it juts out to 405. So actually shorter in straightaway center field than in the little deep left and right center field alleys. A ball and no strikes to Zach Kennedy, who was hit by a pitch and forced out at second in the second inning. Check of Nato at first is back in time. Looks like we're already starting to see some of the crowd coming in for the Class 5A state championship game to be played after this one between Corpus Christi Moody and the Woodlands. Now Jace Wood, James Limmer, the China Spring head coach, heading out to visit with Ricky Barlow. It was a quick 1-2-3 inning in the first for Barlow, who struck out 2 of his first 3 batters. Got in a little trouble in the second inning as he allowed the first 3 runners aboard and allowed an RBI single to the number 8 hitter, Jamie Bazan, but able to get out of the inning on a nice defensive play at second base by Jeremy Toledo. Now facing Zach Kennedy, has a 2 balls and no strikes count. Nato at first. Another pitch inside. Misses, and 3-0. Sean Bell, the shortstop. Jeremy Toledo, second baseman, inching in at double play depth. That pitch misses outside, ball 4. Consecutive walks issued by Ricky Barlow. Or so many of us thought, including Zach Kennedy. Matt Stelgis orders him to head back in the batter's box as the count is runs to 3 balls and 1 strike. Now he gets a piece of that one. Or did he check his swing? That is a strike, yeah. I think Kennedy might have been trying to bluffing as if he didn't go around and was taking ball 4. Still just says he has a piece of it, and it runs the count full. China Spring crowd letting Zach Wagner have it for his anxiety to get to first base. Now he does. Nato had already advanced to second. Now 2 runners are aboard, and Barlow does now issue back-to-back walks. And there's 2 aboard with 2 outs for Ryan Wagner. Wagner advanced by the fielder's choice in the second inning and scored on the RBI single by Bazan. Hammered left side, booted by Clements at third. The ball gets away, and apparently Jared Nato did not see the sign from Coach Wood. So the bases are loaded, and they are assessing an error to Jared Clements at third, as that is what you might call an AstroTurf error. Jeremy Chaka now at the plate, bases loaded and 2 outs in the top of the third. Youkum down by 2. Did he check his swing? Yes, he did, says Dale Miller, the first base umpire. Well, first the ball was booted by Jerry Clements at third, and it went far to his left, and Sean Bell, the shortstop, had a couple of misplays in trying to get a hold of the ball. Bases now loaded, and there's a big swing and a miss and a changeup from Ricky Barlow. Well, Barlow got a quick 1-2, got a quick 2 outs to begin the inning, a strikeout of Creeders, then a ground out to Barros. Now has allowed 3 straight runners aboard, but has a chance to get himself out of the jam. 1-2 to Chaka. Swing and a miss, strike 3, he gets out of it. Nice job by Barlow to settle down and get himself out of the jam. And the Cougars escape. We're through 2.5 of the 3A state championship game, a 3-1 lead for China Spring. And to the bottom of the third we go. China Spring to bring their numbers 3, 4, and 5 hitters of the lineup to the plate. Jared Clements to lead things off, followed by Ricky Barlow and Brandon Garrett. Clements in the first inning, a 3-run rocket over the left field fence. But now facing Randy Boone instead of Jared Nato, and Boone ahead at 0-2. Big curveball misses outside. Hammered right side, popped up, and Jamie Bazan calls for it. has it for out number 1. Brings up Ricky Barlow, who grounded back to then pitcher Nato at the pitcher's mound in the first inning. Hammered left side. On his knees, taken by Barish. Over to first in time. Outstanding play by Kyle Barish at third base. Down to his knees to make sure he's staying in front of it. Got the scoop off the dirt. And has out number 2 for the Bulldogs. Brandon Garrett now up for China Spring. He singled and was thrown out, caught stealing in the first base. Quite a ride for China Spring in the playoffs. Beat Graham in the best 2 out of 3 series in the bi-district playoffs, or the area round, pardon me. As China Spring was their district champion, received a first-round bye. Knocked out Abilene Wiley 17-2 in round 3. Down Lubbock Cooper 10-9 in the region semifinal round. Then, as we say, facing district rival and district runner-up Waco Connolly. Randy Boone has a 1-2-3 inning once again. An excellent job since being replacing Jared Nato. He's retired 7 consecutive batters. We are through 3 complete. It's a 3-1 lead for China Spring. Well, we head to the top of the 4th inning. Youkum to bring up their bottom third of their lineup, number 7, 8, and 9. Randy Boone leading things off. He'll be followed by Jamie Bazan and Clay Harrell. All to face Ricky Barlow of China Spring. Randy Boone, the freshman, doing an outstanding job for China Spring after coming in the first inning. Has retired all 7 batters he has faced, striking out Brandon Garrett to end the last inning. Boone, a strikeout victim of Barlow. This time Boone pops it up to the right side. Jared Talbert in right field coming up on it. And Brandon Garrett calls him off. The center fielder, Garrett, calling off Talbert. So the center fielder takes it for out number 1. Now Jamie Bazan, who had the RBI single in the second inning, producing what is thus far the Bulldogs' only run. Righty on lefty as Barlow faces Bazan. Drilled into center field, coming up on it is Garrett, and he has to take it on a hop. A 2-for-2 day for Jamie Bazan. And Jamie Bazan is having one heck of a tournament. Now 4 for 5 in the state tournament this year with 2 runs batted in. Clay Harrell now at the plate with 1 out and a runner aboard. Harrell had that ground ball to the right side that was misplayed by Lespin, the first baseman, on a backhand, but Jeremy Toledo, the second baseman, backed him up, made the grab, and tossed over to Barlow for the inning-ending out. Trent Gorey stays in front of that Barlow pitch as the count runs to 2 balls and a strike. Infield a double play depth. Pitch misses outside. Sean Bell, the shortstop, and Jeremy Toledo each cheated over towards second base. Well, Jamie Bazan's 4 for 5 outing right now has him as tied for the top batting performance in 3A state baseball history in this tournament. There's a hammered ball into center field. It's going to go over the head of Garrett, but not quite. Garrett runs it down. A spectacular grab, and now Bazan has to retreat to first. He's doubled off. An outstanding play in center by Brandon Garrett. Absolutely motoring that ball down and robbing Clay Harrell of extra bases and perhaps robbing the Bulldogs of a run. Incredible play. China Spring gets out of the inning on an outstanding defensive effort. We're through 3.5 in the 3A state championship game. Ready to begin the bottom of the third inning. There you see Red and Charlene McCombs Field, home of the Texas Longhorns softball team, just over the right center field wall. And as we pan left, we see the red roof of the headquarters of the University Interscholastic League. Just a couple of the buildings dotting the landscape of Disch-Falk Field. As we head to the bottom of the fourth inning, China Spring heads to the plate with Josh Lessman leading things off. Doubling in the first inning, he was stranded at second. He'll be followed by Jared Talbert and Oscar Guerrero. Well, we have just been treated to state championship quality play offensively and defensively early on here in his 3A title game. A 1-ball, 1-strike pitch to Lessman. Swings at a ball up at his elbows and about cap high. First, the 3-run home run by Jared Clements, only the second home run we've seen here at Disch-Falk Field throughout the state tournament. Lessman fouls one away and unplayable for Barish, the third baseman. But then the defensive gem just moments ago by Brandon Garrett, the China Spring center fielder. A Willie Mays-like over-the-shoulder catch on a dead sprint for that 405 sign in left center field. And able to double up Jamie Bazan at first. Boy, Randy Boone tried to find the same spot to see if Lessman would chase after it, and he almost did. But he holds up, runs the count to 2-2. Randy Boone looking to retire his 10th consecutive batter since entering this game. The 2-2 pitch. Hit right side and fielded by Bazan. And it is 10 in a row. What an effort we're seeing from the freshman. And helping his team nurse the 3 spot they established in the first inning. Jared Talbert now at the plate.
There's a white Ford van with the lights on 1ZD P68. A white Ford van. IZD.
No balls and 2 strikes to Jared Talbert. from Randy Boone. Lifted high to left side. Clay Harrell has to run in hard, and from his shortstop position, Ryan Wagner out to shallow left field to make the catch. Nice defensive play by Wagner, veering from his shortstop position. And there's 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. Oscar Guerrero was the first batter that Boone faced in the bottom of the 1st inning. Boone entered the game for Geranato. 2 runners aboard. This time Guerrero slaps one to center. It's going to fall for a base hit. Creeders had to play back on it to play the hop. And so Randy Boone allows his first base hit since entering this game. A high fly ball to center field for a hit. Now we're going to see a courtesy runner for Guerrero. Brock Schaus, who is the left fielder for China Spring, and Oscar Guerrero, his designated hitter. Schaus now runs for Guerrero. Sean Bell slaps one right side. It's through for a hit. Schaus makes the turn and will not advance as the ball is misplayed by Kennedy, but it didn't get far past him. Tried to make a running stab at that and just got a piece of it. So it didn't get all the way behind him. Made a nice recovery of it. Back-to-back singles by the number 8 and 9 hitters of the lineup for China Spring. And it brings up the top of the order with 2 outs and 2 aboard for Trent Goree. The China Spring fans starting to make a little noise as they finally have got to Randy Boone, trying to capitalize on a 3-1 lead. That ball misses high, and it got him. Clayton Stock made a clean catch of that ball, but after deflecting on some piece of Matt Stelgis, or of Trent Goree, rather, Stelgis, the umpire, making the call. Well, after the base is now loaded for Jeremy Toledo, who drives a shot down the right side. It scores a run. A 4-1 lead for the Cougars. Nice play by Zach Kennedy in right field to quickly come up with that ball, hitting his cutoff man and keeping the runners put as the bases remain loaded and only 1 run comes across. And that will be it for Randy Boone. The freshman doing an absolutely phenomenal job when he came in, retiring his first 10 straight batters, but his last 4 have all reached base, consecutive base hits to Guerrero and Bell. He hit Goree and now has allowed a RBI single from Jeremy Toledo. We have a new pitcher on the mound in the 3A championship game. Ryan Wagner has come in from his shortstop position and now takes the mound for Youkum. Wagner now pitching for Youkum as Randy Boone retreats back to second base, and Nato now playing at shortstop. Wagner's first two offerings are ball outside. So Jared Nato at shortstop, Randy Boone back over to first base where he began the game, and Ryan Wagner now pitching and facing Jared Clements. Coach Jace Wood of Youkum wanted to make that change as Clements has proven he's a big hitter. He had a 3-run home run in the first inning, a high, deep shot over the left center field wall, over the 375 sign and the left center power alley. 2 balls and a strike. Missing outside, ball gets by Clayton Stock, but he retrieves the ball quickly. The Youkum infield, Jamie Bazan at first, Boone at second, Nato at short, and Barish at third. Wagner on the mound throwing to Stock. Clements swings and hits one right back to Wagner. The soft toss to Bazan, and they're out of the inning. Well, a little drama in the fourth as China Spring does extend their lead out a little bit more. It's a 4-1 ball game for the Cougars after 4 complete in the 3A championship game. To begin the 5th inning, we see the breeze that is coming once again from that familiar right to left field pattern, and a pleasant breeze at that, but really just the China Springs fans are the only one to enjoy the benefit of this breeze, as the Youkum fans on the first base side are blocked from that, but the breeze helping out just a little bit as the temperature has risen to 86 degrees. As we said, this game began with a lot of cloud cover that did eventually end up in a rain delay, but about 78 degrees. So the top of the 5th inning, T.J. Creeders, the leadoff batter of the lineup, to lead things off. He struck out twice in the first and third innings. Three pitching changes for Youkum early on, but Ricky Barlow has hung tough for China Spring. Gets Craters to chase after a curveball. Evens the count at 1-1. Ooh. Craters takes it off the noggin. The second hit batsman for Youkum. Zach Kennedy was hit by a pitch to lead off the second inning. The fourth hit batter of this game. Barish now lays down a bunt nicely. Fielded by Barlow. Over to first in time, and advancing to second base is Creeders. So Barish does a great job of advancing the runner. Sack 1-4 as Jeremy Toledo, the second baseman, covering on the bunt. Jared Nato now batting. 0 for 1. He had a strikeout in the first inning. Walked. Wow, that wasn't a wild pitch. That was an insane pitch. About a foot and about 3 feet over the head of Nato and about 5 feet behind him. It advances Creeders to third base as Youkum trails by 3. The ball gets away from Goree, but Creeders holds at third. There you see Jace Wood, the Youkum head coach. Along with Creeders at third. Count runs to 2 balls and no strikes to Nato. Another inside pitch. And 3-0. We'll see if Youkum down by 3. If Coach Wood gives Nato his number 3 hole hitter the green light with a 3-0 pitch from Ricky Barlow. Taken all the way, in for a strike. That misses inside for a ball. The 4th walk issued by Ricky Barlow puts runners on the corners with 1 out for the cleanup hitter, Zach Kennedy. And it looks like Josh Lessman, the ace of the semifinal game, is going to get his chance to go to the mound once again. Barlow appears to be running after his first baseman's mitt. And we have a pitching change in the 3A championship game. Well, as we mentioned, Josh Lessman, who had been playing first base, was the star of the semifinal win, the ace of the China Spring staff. And Lessman now comes on to pitch to face Youkum in the top of the 5th inning with inherits runners on first and third base, and his first offering to Zach Kennedy is in for a strike. Lessman enters with a 9-1-1 record. Don't see too many pitchers with a tie on their mark, but many games in the non-district round, if the rains come, they go ahead and just ended tied. It's got quickly ahead of Kennedy, 0-2. Swing and a miss at a big curveball. Strike 3. First base is occupied. Goree doesn't have to go there. So there's out number 2. So both teams now, well, as Ryan Wagner steps to the plate, pitcher meeting pitcher here. Both teams now pitching the pitcher who took them to their semifinal win. Wagner, the win over Robinson, and Lessman, the win over Forney. Lessman's line, as we said, is a line against Forney. Only 1 run. It was earned off of 6 hits. He struck out 13 jackrabbits and allowed only 1 walk. Kennedy lines one to center field. Garrett calls for it and has out number 3. Josh Lessman saving the day for China Spring as he bails him out of the inning. A first and third 1-out threat is diminished. We are through 4.5 and still a 4-run lead for China Spring. To the bottom of the 5th we go as you hear Ricky Barlow. Now the first baseman of China Spring to lead things off, to be followed by Brandon Garrett and Josh Lessman. Ryan Wagner quickly ahead of Barlow at 0-2. Both semifinal victory winning pitchers on the mound here in the championship game. They've had 3.5 days of rest. So the rain delays providing an advantage there for both teams. 1-2 to Barlow. He doesn't chase the curve outside. Well, Barlow now batting his pitching line. 4 1/3 innings, 1 run. It was earned off of 2 hits. He allowed 4 walks and hit 2 batters while striking out 5. Count runs full on Barlow. Barlow stays alive. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Wagner. Brings up Brandon Garrett. 1 for 2 with a single in the first. He was caught stealing. Count runs even on Garrett. Wagner, the big kick and delivery. Hammered up the middle. Jared Nato at short. Over to first. High throw for Bazan. It brings him off the bag. And there is an example of what I talked about earlier as far as some of the errors that have gone on in the state tournament. Most of them, I'd say a majority of them, not attributed to the artificial playing surface, but rather throwing errors just like that. In fact, Port Neches Groves had a 2-run lead on Corpus Christi Cal Allen in the 4A state championship. A throwing error allowed the 2 tying runs to score, and Cal Allen will go on to win in extra innings in 9 innings. So errors costing many teams. It costed Cross Plains in the 1A championship game, but the artificial turf was not to blame. Josh Lessman. Now the China Spring pitcher at the plate. Count runs to 1-1. A long look by Wagner. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on a miss. Big swing and a miss on a hit and run. Strikeout, throw him out. Strike 3 on Lessman, and then Clayton Stock nails Brandon Garrett trying to steal second. Nice inning for Ryan Wagner, and we are through 5 complete in the 3A state championship game from Disch-Falk Field in Austin. And to the top of the 6th we go, and there you see the very attractive and sizable crowd we have here at Disch-Falk Field. As we say, many of the spectators for the 5A state championship game already on hand. Corpus Christi Moody in the Woodlands to face off here shortly at the completion of this game. At the top of the 6th inning, Jeremy Chaka leading things off for Youkum. He followed by Randy Boone and Jamie Bazan. Youkum in desperate need of some offense, trailing by 3 in the top of the 6th. Curveball just misses inside. Okay. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Two pitch hits Jeremy Chaka. Chaka becomes the 3rd Youkum Bulldog to be hit by a pitch. And in fact, the second Bulldog to lead off the inning by being hit by a pitch. Zach Kennedy did so in the second inning. Now Randy Boone at the plate for the Bulldogs. Now playing second base once again after a short pitching stint. His pitching line, he pitched 3 innings, gave up 1 run. It was earned off of 3 hits, struck out 2 and walked none, and hit a batter. 4 hit batsmen in this game. UIL keeps a lot of records for this championship tournament, but I don't think that's one of them. The 1-2 pitch. Drilled into left center field. Shaw's over and has it. Shaw's got a great read on that ball, and now comes Jamie Bazan, who at this point has one of the top performances at the plate in 3A state tournament history. He is 4 for 5 in this tournament, 2 for 2 in the championship game. He has the lone RBI as he brought in Ryan Wagner in the second inning. And a base hit here, it will certainly lock him for one of the top outings in the history of this tournament in any classification. We've had some 5 for 6s and 6 for 7s. Best performance ever, a 7 for 8 tournament by Andy Sadler of Valley Mills in 1991 of Class 1A. 4 for 5 has been accomplished once before in Class 3A by Brent Winkler of LaGrange in 1980. That's an 800 average, and that's the best mark in the history of this tournament in Class 3A. Bazan has matched that at this point. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Maybe a little too much hype around that at bat. But we like to be aware of the record watch when they happen, as we did for West in last year's 3A championship game. The West Trojans setting an all-time state tournament record in all classifications for stolen bases. Clay Harrell drills the ball to right center field. It drops for a base hit. Chalker rounding second. He'll hold at third. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for TJ Creeders. Well, we mentioned Youkum in desperate need of some offense, and they have the opportunity now, as Lessman will ask for a new ball, and Matt Stell just stashes that waterlogged ball away in his bag, and to the top of the lineup we go. And TJ Creeders. Harrell getting the base hit to fall in his last at bat in the 4th inning. Absolutely robbed on a rocket sent to center field that Brandon Garrett chased down. This time he bloops one in the right center field gap. Creeders with 2 outs and 2 aboard. Struck out in the 1st and 3rd innings, hit by a pitch, and stranded at third base in the 5th inning. Taken right down the middle for a strike. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. Kyle Barish is on deck should Creeders keep things alive. The 1-2 pitch taken outside for ball 2. Well, we have another big, thick gray cloud looming over Disch-Falk Field, but It is chasing away nicely. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Josh Lessman gets himself out of a jam. And we are through 5.5. China Springs sitting on a 3-run lead in the 3A championship game. Well, we've already had one 25-minute rain delay, and that is what looms over Disch-Falk Field as we begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Large and looming clouds coming over the right center field fence in from the south-southeast. Jared Talbert leading things off for the Cougars. 0 for 1 officially. He walked in the first inning, was stranded at second. And the final batter faced by starting pitcher Jared Nato. He popped out to short in the 4th inning. Ryan Wagner on the mound for Youkum. Count runs to 3-1. Once again, the pitching line on Randy Boone in his 10. 3 innings pitched, 1 run. It was earned on 3 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks, and 1 hit batter. 3-1 pitch hits the inside corner for strike 2. Talbot did a good job just to slap at that and get a piece of it. Stays alive. A full count. Hit right back at Wagner. He'll head over and hit soft toss to Bazan at first. Well, Youkum in their half of the 7th inning will bring their numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters of their lineup up. That's Barish, Nato, and Kennedy. With their last opportunity to produce some offense, China Spring, with their another opportunity to capitalize on their 3-run lead. Ryan Wagner trying to keep the bats in check. Swing and a miss at a fastball from Wagner. Working quickly is Wagner. The 1-2 pitch. Just missing outside. Nearly the same spot as the one that had Guerrero chasing after a moment ago. Guerrero 1 for 2 in the day with a single and a run scored on the 4th. Hits one softly left side. Barehanded grab by Wagner. Over to first in time. Well, consecutive putouts, 1-3 to begin the 6th inning. 2 away for number 9 hitter Sean Bell. Bell 1 for 2 with a single to right in the 4th inning. In the 2nd inning, he popped out to second at who was then the Jared Nato playing second base. Nice changeup and had Bell guessing all along. Ryan Wagner rocks and fires quickly. And again, just misses outside with the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got a piece of it, actually, to stay alive at 1-2. Two outs, a ball, and 2 strikes. Called strike 3. Delayed call from Matt Stelgis, the home plate umpire, but he rings up Sean Bell to end the 6th inning. China Springs needs 3 outs. Youkum desperately needing some offense, or the Cougars are 3 outs away from a state championship. The top of the 7th we go. The Youkum Bulldogs need 3 runs to keep this game alive, and Josh Lessman needs 3 outs. Kyle Barish leads things off for Youkum. 0 for 2 on the day with a couple of ground outs and a sacrifice bunt. China Spring looking for their 4th state championship in their history. Their last one came with their last state tournament appearance in 1993. Lessman just misses with that pitch. Youkum begins the inning with their crowd chanting, "We believe." It's a 3-0 pitch to Barish. Pitch high and outside, but hitting the corner of the strike zone. Way outside, and the leadoff runner is Ward. Jared Nato now steps to the plate with a runner on. Nato almost becomes the 4th Youkum Bulldog to advance by being hit by a pitch, and now James Limmer, the China Spring head coach, will go out and visit with Lessman to make sure he's settled down, and he's got a 3-run cushion, but I'm sure Limmer would rather just get through this with as little dramatics as possible. Nato has walked twice and struck out once. A 1-0 pitch. In for a strike. With Barish at first. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on a miss. He got a piece of it. Gets away from Goree. Lessman now ahead of Nato at 1-2. Nato staying alive. Swung on a miss, strike 3. There's 1 away. Zach Kennedy now to the plate. 0 for 1 officially. He struck out in the 5th, but has been hit by a pitch and has walked. And is hit by a pitch once again, the 4th hit batter for the Bulldogs, and the tying run has come to the plate for Youkum. Ryan Wagner represents the tying run in this championship game in the top of the 7th with 1 out. Trent Gorey, the catcher, out to visit with Lessman. The China Spring crowd coming to life, trying to encourage their starting pitcher and their defense. And double play depth right now. Kennedy 0 for 2 officially. He reached by 0 for 3 officially. He reached by an error, reached by fielder's choice, and is flown out to center field. The 0-1 pitch. Wagner got a piece of it. Well, if China Spring holds on, the folks around there are going to remember the 3-run home run by Jared Clements and an absolutely phenomenal play in center field by Brandon Garrett to rob Clay Harrell of extra bases and certainly at least 1 run, possibly an inside the park home run. 0-2 pitch, swung on and drilled right side, snared by Toledo to first. They double up. It's a state title for China Spring. It's a lucky 7th. The 7th appearance in the state tournament results in the 4th state championship for the Cougars. Jeremy Toledo, the China Spring second baseman, ranges to his left, robbing Ryan Wagner of a base hit and perhaps a run, then doubling off Zach Kennedy off first base. For out number 3, the China Spring Cougars are the state champions of Class 3A for the year 2000. Their 4th title in their history. For Youkum in their first ever appearance in the state tournament. The runners-up ending their season with a record of 28-6. Well, we will stick around and watch the medal and trophy presentations of the runners-up and the champions of 3A. We will close out this portion of audio. Special thanks to our engineer-producer, Randall Crossman, our photographer, Dave Knobler, and a producer-photographer, Durrell Smith. Also a special thanks to our good friends at the University Interscholastic League, including tournament director Peter Contreras. Again, we'll sit and watch the presentation of the medals and championship trophies to China Spring and Youkum.
best two teams in Conference 3A in the state of Texas. First of all, our runner-up team. Our runner-up team, they finished 28-6. Ain't bad. 28-6 for the year. Head coach Chase Woods. The Bulldogs from Youkum are runner-up in Conference 3A. Trophy team presented by Mark Cousins, your assistant athletic director. Congratulations to Youkum, our runner-up, Conference 3A. Nice job. And now our champions. They finished the year 26 wins, 6 losses. Their head coach, Mr. James Zimmer. If the captains would come forward and receive their trophy from Dr. Charles Brydup, UIL Athletic Director, state champions, China Spring Cougars. Two outstanding teams in Conference 3A are champion China Spring and our runner-up team from Youkum. Our 5A game usually start at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is now 1:23 on the big scoreboard. Another big hand for Youkum and China Spring.
Let's go now.
Shoulder right here, guys. Forward first, face the stand. Shoulder to shoulder, forward first, face the stand.
The director takes down to the ranking the medal for the Cougars, Peter McPhira, UIL Assistant Athletic Director. Those medals being presented at this time. Out of the field, ladies and gentlemen, you see the best two teams in Conference 3A. Congratulations to Youkum, our runner-up, Conference 3A. Nice job. And now our champion, Dr. Charles Brydup, state champion, China Spring Cougars. Two outstanding teams in Conference 3A, our champion, China Spring, and our runner-up team from Youkum. Our scoreboard. Another big hand for Youkum.
Oh, sure. I mean, anytime you win, because you got a new group of kids, it's a great feeling. I feel great for these kids because they've worked so hard all year.
Well, it's been a long year, a long road to get here, but you guys were playing the best of anybody in the state of Texas, coming at the right time, weren't you?
Right. I mean, we played good all year, and we got better each game in the playoffs, and we deserve it.
A few audio problems at the beginning, but you really jumped on them early. How important was that to jump on them early in this game?
It was big because, you know, that kind of sets the tone of the game usually, who scores first and, who, you know, if that team can stay ahead. And we jumped 3 runs up on them, and we held on.
How proud of you are you guys?
These guys have worked hard all year. We've gotten better just about basically every week, and we didn't lose the playoff game. So, you know, we played well.
You think playing in the district that you come from helps you out in the playoffs?
It helps. Whenever you play West and Conley, you know, at least once a week, you're ready for the playoffs when it comes time.
Is this state championship any different than the others? A little bit more special?
They're all sweet. I mean, you always have a new group of kids, and they're all sweet.
I mean, it was right there too, and I knew, I just felt it. You know, here it comes. And
how does it feel to get the biggest hit of the game, the biggest game of your life?
oh, you can't explain it. It's awesome.
You know, you guys have battled to get here, and you've worked for 4 years to be here. How does it feel now that you finally got to the mountaintop?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, you work so hard, you know, for 4 years, thinking every year you have a chance. Last year, regional finals, we thought we had a chance to get here, and finally when we got here, we took care of business, and it's great.
You think playing in the district that you come from helps you out in the playoffs and in the state tournament?
I think so. I mean, it's a real good district. West, defending state champs from last year. I mean, it's unbelievable.
How important was it to jump on this team early on?
I think it's important, one, because it's kind of like it makes them get down on themselves after a big hit or getting on them real fast, and I think it's just kind of the bone cruncher.
How much can you say about your pitcher today? Full control, really until the last inning. He gets the double play to get out of it, but really had a great game today, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Ricky, he pitched great. He hadn't thrown in about a month, and he came out here and did a good job for 5 innings, and then Josh Leshman came in and did another great job for us. And it's great for those guys too.
All right, Ricky, man, congratulations on the victory. Your thoughts on the day? You seemed to started out very well, didn't you?
Yeah, it started raining, and I kind of cooled off a little bit. And it was kind of tough going back out there on a wet mound and having cooled down, not warm. But we came back, we got out of it. Josh came in and did a great job, shut them down. We've had a great season.
Your thoughts on your team putting up some runs early on in the game? It seemed to help you and the other pitcher out, didn't it?
Yeah, Youkum, when they played Robinson, they came out and got 5 runs in the first inning, and that was big. And I had to come out and shut them down in the first inning, and I knew if I did that, then we could get some runs, and it turned out to be good.
Great run this year. Last year it was West. This year it's China Springs. Your district seems to produce a lot of winners.
Yeah, it's a real competitive district. Last year West came 3rd in our district, and they ended up winning state. And this year we won district and came out ahead and ended up beating Conley for the game to go to state. Last year we lost against West in that game.
A special year, China Springs 4th state championship. The tradition in baseball really bigger and better than most others in the state.
Yeah, we know how to win, and when we get here, we usually come out on top. And we've been here, I think, 8 times now, or 7, and we've won, like you said, 4 times. First time in 3A, so I think you can expect a lot more in the future.
The field general, the man in charge, the guy kind of keeping everything together and keeping you guys pointed toward the right direction, your coach?
Oh, yeah, Coach Limmer did a great job. He knows had a lot of experience with state and coming here, and he told us to relax, and he knew that we'd get nervous before the game. He said it's all part of it, and just to go out there and have fun.